What if I told you one of the most profitable media empires in human history, worth over $20 billion, was built by a guy who got rejected, quit his stable job, and had absolutely no business plan? No MBA, no investors, no strategy deck. Just a pencil, a sketchbook, and an editor who kept telling him his work wasn't good enough. This is the story of how Akira Toriyama turned a cartoon about a monkey-tailed kid into a global cash machine, and what every entrepreneur can learn from how he did it. In the mid-70s, Akira Toriyama was doing what most people would call the safe thing. He had a job, a real one, at an advertising agency in Nagoya, Japan. Steady paycheck, predictable future. And he walked away from it. Not because he had a backup plan, not because he had savings or a runway, but because he knew the way entrepreneurs always know that the thing he was doing wasn't the thing he was meant to do. He wanted to make manga. Now, in Japan in the late 70s, getting published in Weekly Shonen Jump was the equivalent of landing a deal with the biggest publisher in New York, incredibly competitive. Thousands of hopefuls, very few spots. Toriyama submitted, and got rejected. He submitted again, rejected again. Most people stop here. They take the loss, go back to their stable job, and spend the rest of their life wondering, what if? Toriyama kept submitting. Here's the business lesson nobody puts in the highlight reel. Behind almost every massive success story, there's a hard-nosed mentor who refused to let the founder settle. For Toriyama, that was Kazuhiko Torishima, a sharp, demanding editor at Shonen Jump who saw potential in Toriyama's work when nobody else did. Torishima didn't coddle him. He pushed him. He rejected drafts. He sent him back to the drawing board literally over and over again. He was the kind of advisor who makes founders uncomfortable because he could see the gap between where they were and where they could be. In 1980, that partnership produced Dr. Slump, a comedy manga that sold tens of millions of copies and made Toriyama a household name in Japan. That's your first exit, your Series A. Most people would have stopped right there, declared victory, and rode that wave forever. Torishima had other plans. When Dr. Slump started winding down, Torishima pushed Toriyama towards something new. Toriyama had been watching martial arts films. He was drawn to the structure, the underdog, the training, the climactic fight. He saw something there that connected with people on a primal level. In 1984, he launched Dragon Ball in Weekly Shonen Jump. The concept was loose. A kid, some magic wish-granting orbs, a lot of adventure. Toriyama himself has said he wasn't thinking about legacy or franchise potential. He was just telling a story he found fun. But here's where the business instinct kicks in, and this is the part every entrepreneur needs to hear. Toriyama listened to the market. Readers were going crazy for the fight scenes, the tournaments, the moments where the underdog dug deeper than anyone thought possible. The data didn't lie. The feedback was clear. So Toriyama didn't stay married to his original vision. He pivoted. More battles, higher stakes, enemies that seemed impossible to beat. That willingness to adapt while keeping the core product authentic is exactly what separates founders who build $1 million companies from founders who build $1 billion ones. The manga ran for 11 years, 1,500 pages, over 260 million copies sold worldwide, making it one of the best-selling manga series in history. But when the manga ended, the company didn't. This is franchise thinking at its highest level. Anime adaptations, feature films, video games across every major console for 4 decades. Merchandise sold in over 80 countries, streaming that pulls in new fans to this day. Dragon Ball, as a franchise, has generated an estimated $20 billion or more in total revenue. And it is still growing. Toriyama didn't just create a product. He created a platform, a world rich enough that other creators, other studios, other companies could build on top of it and keep expanding it, long after he stepped back. That's the dream, isn't it? Build something so foundational that it outlasts you. Now let's zoom out, because this is bigger than one man. Japan built something the rest of the world didn't fully see coming: soft power as an economic engine. It is one of the country's most significant cultural exports. Dragon Ball alone is a major pillar of that. When American kids were watching Goku on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s, they weren't just watching a show. They were consuming Japanese culture. And that created demand for the games, for the merchandise, for Japan itself as a travel destination. Economists call this the anime effect, and countries around the world are now actively studying Japan's model, trying to figure out how to replicate it. One manga artist, one story, helped reshape how an entire nation monetizes its creative output on the global stage. That's leverage. That's what building something truly original can do, not just for your bank account, but for an entire ecosystem around you. Akira Toriyama passed away in March 2024. He never chased the spotlight. He was famously private, far more comfortable at a drawing desk in Nagoya than at any red carpet in Tokyo or Los Angeles. But what he left behind is a masterclass in building something that lasts. He didn't set out to build a $20 billion empire. He just kept drawing. And the empire built itself around him. If this moved, you hit like and subscribe.